Our News 8 is going to be paying tribute to area vets as they embark on a very special trip to Washington, D.C. We're going to be flying along as dozens of veterans take off for the first Mid-Michigan Honor Flight.
24-Hour News 8's Rick Albin will travel along with the veterans. He joins us now live out of the Gerald R. Ford International Airport right now. Good morning, Rick.
Good morning. In just about half an hour, some 77 World War II veterans, ranging in age from 86 to 96, are going to be getting on a plane here at the Ford International Airport, also coincidentally named for a World War II veteran. And they are going to be going, many for the first time, to see some of the memorials in Washington, D.C. that have been erected in their honor. The Iwo Jima Memorial and, of course, notably the World War II Memorial. This is all possible because of a lot of donations by folks who just wanted to say thanks to a generation of folks who really did a lot to change the way we live our lives today. We have some video here from some of those earlier honor flights. Now, remember, these are happening all over the country. Some here in Michigan have already taken place this year, but this is the first for the Mid-Michigan group, and there are a lot of logistics that go into this. The folks who work to put this together work really hard. And remember, it's been 70-plus years for some of these veterans since they've been asked to serve their country. So a day like today, getting up this early, flying out and flying back could be a pretty arduous task, but none of that even compares to what these veterans went through after that December 7th, 1941 date that called many of them into service. Some may have actually been in the service before that, but it was after that that the United States got fully involved. And so today, they will be remembering. They will be talking about those memories, reliving for a moment some of the things that they went through. Of course, there are those successes and victories, and of course, there's some very painful memories associated with World War II. And it wasn't just for the veterans, but for an entire nation that mobilized behind it. But today, we're going to be hearing a lot about all of that. I should point out these veterans are going free of charge. Their lodging last night, their flights, their transportation on the ground there, all of their meals. They'll be in private coaches taken around to all of these different areas. There'll be ceremonies both in Washington, D.C. and when we return here later tonight in Grand Rapids. It's going to be an interesting time, particularly for me, the son of a World War II veteran who never got to see that World War II monument. I'm excited to go, excited to share, and more than anything, honored to be able to go with these veterans who gave so much. 77 of them, about 170 of us in total on that airplane this morning. We'll be leaving in a while, and of course, we'll have complete updates here on Daybreak later today on 24-Hour News 8 at noon. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook. We'll keep you updated all day long and later tonight on 24-Hour News 8 as well. Brett, Emily?
Honoring the greatest generation, area World War II veterans are on a special trip visiting Washington, D.C. today.
24-Hour News 8's Rick Albin is along for the ride.
The Mid-Michigan Honor Flight has made its way to Washington, D.C. and here to the World War II Memorial. Not before a stop at Dulles International Airport with an unexpected 200 to 300 people waiting to greet these veterans who served some 70 years ago. The veterans I've talked to have been overwhelmed by the response both at the airport and here, and the day isn't over. There's still a big event that'll take place tonight at the Amway hangar when everybody gets back on that plane, makes a one big day trip, round trip back into Grand Rapids sometime later this evening. It's a long day for some of these veterans, ranging from age 86 to 96, but none of them seem to mind that or the relatively warm temperatures here in Washington. They're just happy to see this memorial, to be in the nation's capital, and know that people still remember the sacrifice they made 7 decades ago. In Washington, D.C., I'm Rick Albin, 24-Hour News 8.
If you'd like to welcome home the honor flight tonight, be at Ford International Airport by 7:30.
There will be free parking for 1,000 cars. Shuttles will take guests to the Amway hangar for the ceremony, and we will show it to you tonight on 24-Hour News 8 at 11 o'clock.
We've been showing you these images all day. 70 World War II vets left bright and early to see the memorial dedicated to them in Washington, D.C.
24-Hour News 8's Rick Albin traveled with them, and they got back late tonight. Rick is here with some of the sights and sounds of the day. So, Rick, how was it?
In a word, it was remarkable. It was much more than I expected. I've been looking forward to it, but it's really hard to imagine what it's like when you see these veterans in their mid-80s to mid-90s spending close to 18 hours in the Mid-Michigan Honor Flight, driving, flying, busing, walking, sometimes waiting, to see some amazing sights. But when you consider the World War II Memorial, the Tomb of the Unknowns, a wreath laying there to honor their visit, all of that, perhaps the most enduring memory will be this.
Have a good time? You're wonderful. Good.
At about 8:45 tonight, we touched down at the Gerald R. Ford International Airport. We went to the Amway hangar, and it looked like a movie prop, complete with a vintage warbird, hundreds of sometimes cheering and crying relatives, welcoming home their heroes from a great victory. It was no movie, and as a practical matter, that is what they were doing, albeit 70 years after the fact. That made me wonder, after spending all of this time with these marvelous veterans today, what was their takeaway? One jovial traveler and I exchanged pleasantries and jokes all day, but when it was all done, I wanted him to get serious.
I couldn't believe the young people at the airport, the young kids and the families. It's just overwhelming, you know?
And then you come back here to...
This is unbelievable. I didn't expect my kids to be here, but they're here.
What was your takeaway from today? Do you think that 70 years after the fact, people still get it, how important this was?
Definitely, definitely. And I never realized it until now.
He went on to say until today, there were 300 or more people at Dulles. It's one of the busiest international airports along the eastern seaboard. It's not a place that people casually go in to see these guys. Anyway, over the next several days, we got so much stuff that I want to show you. And we'll start that tomorrow. As you see these American heroes make their journey back to these great places, what a difference it makes, and not just for them, but for other people too. And we're going to start with kind of an overview, because if you think about it, it's a crazy schedule.
Right.
These guys started, a lot of them stayed at Ferris State last night. They started like at 5:30 this morning, and some of them won't get home till 11 o'clock tonight. They probably didn't get home in time to see that report.
Right.
So,
a long day, but also an emotional one.
yeah, it was. There was a lot of emotion, and not just for them. I got to tell you, as a guy who looked at this, I saw my father and so many of these guys who, my father would be 93, and so about the same age of these, a World War II veteran, jumped 5 minutes across the Rhine. It was an interesting day for me as well.
Looking forward to seeing more.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rick. A one-day trip of a lifetime. That's exactly what more than 70 World War II veterans and the 100 people who accompanied them to Washington, D.C. experienced yesterday.
24-hour News 8 political reporter Rick Albin went along to witness this inspiring and ambitious undertaking, Rick.
We were given all-day access to bring you this emotional journey. It was unforgettable for the veterans, equally so for those who were fortunate enough to accompany them. 1,300 miles, at least 7 stops, a logistics challenge met by the Mid-Michigan Honor Flight. For some of these veterans, the event began the evening before with a dinner and accommodations at Ferris State University. The next day, first stop, Gerald R. Ford International Airport, complete with greeters and bagpipes. The trip was underway.
Use a bag and a camera for your trip.
Even as these clearly excited members of the greatest generation prepared for their big day, their thoughts, just as decades ago, were with their comrades in arms who are no longer here.
I have feelings for the people that didn't come back. My husband was very lucky, and all my brothers were safe.
Lillian Arend was a wave who had never seen the World War II memorial. That was about to change. She and her fellow veterans boarded a chartered flight to Dulles International Airport. Dulles is 25 miles from the National Mall where the memorial is located, and it was supposed to be just a transfer point. It became far more when big crowds turned out to say thank you.
Thank you. One of the kids gave him that as they came in. Thank you for saving the world from Will.
I couldn't believe the young people at the airport, the young kids and the families. It's just overwhelming, you know?
Overwhelming. That's a good word to describe a day that included a trip past some of the major landmarks around the nation's capital. Then, the main event, the World War II Memorial.
That's a great picture, gentlemen.
It might have ended there, but this tour of duty had just begun.
The ceremony that you are about to witness.
To Arlington National Cemetery and a wreath laying to commemorate the flight. And of course, the changing of the guard. Back on the bus to the airport, but not without a brief delay.
We broke an engine belt.
This trip was so well planned, though, that even a breakdown did not get the group off schedule. Another bus, back to the plane, next stop, GRR. When the veterans got off the plane, they found this. A big crowd, a warbird, and the grateful thanks for a job well done.
Have a good time. You're wonderful.
7 decades ago.
I'm so proud of you. Everybody's here.
Boy, a lot of tears.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
A lot of people really, you know, giving their gratitude, it looks like, to the veterans and having that opportunity to say, you know, thank you so much for what you've done.
Solemn, but under a celebration.
Yeah.
You know, I was so impressed with that scene at Dulles because these were, I don't know, 30-year-old moms with their 5-year-old, like the age of my son, and they were all out there with signs. It was 10 o'clock in the morning, and Dulles is really not in the center of the city by any means. The parking lot must have been full with minivans. I mean, the place was packed with these young families, and that meant so much to those veterans. All of them commented. I think if you would have flown them, it was a great day. I think you could have flown them from here to Dulles, seen that, and taken them home. They would have been fine.
That would have been good.
Yeah. It was a remarkable day, and as a reporter, some days are diamonds. This was one. This was good.
Very
nice report.
nice.
Yeah,
Thank you, Rick.
thanks.
State of Michigan special tribute. On behalf of the people of Michigan, I, Rick Snyder, Governor of Michigan, do hereby pay special tribute to the Mid-Michigan Honor Flight Program. Let it be known that it is my distinct honor to recognize the Mid-Michigan Honor Flight Program and its participants and join in celebrating the inaugural flight on June 24th, 2014.
Glory, glory, hallelujah, His truth is marching on.
We're also concerned about your safety. At this time, we ask that you please give your attention to the monitors for a brief safety video of our Boeing 737-800 aircraft.
To Ascension Island, and going in, there were three planes going over, and one of them, the Ascension Island, was just runway going right down Vic and Heath. That just flew right into the cliff.
Wow.
Right off. Yep. So we.
Hey, look at our honor guard. Hey, they're hosing us down.
That's cool.
Oh, that feels so much better.
Last week, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our and star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Hello, welcome to DC. Have fun.
Thank you for your service. We appreciate it. Thanks for bringing these heroes.
Thank you very much.
Hey, welcome to DC and thank you for your service. Really appreciate it. Welcome, sir.
Welcome to Washington, sir. Good to see you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for bringing him.
Thank you very much.
So glad you're here.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you very
Have a
much.
good day.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for serving our country. Have a great day. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
I always watch when they're down there inspecting right before it goes over. And the memorial was dedicated in 2004 by President Bush, and with the author.
Okay, Bob. Bob.
Yeah. Okay, I'm looking for my... All right, 82nd Airborne, where'd you go? Yeah, right there. Now you get...
That's a good one. That's a good thing.
Hard to believe, isn't it? Wow.
Thank you for everything you did. Thank you.
Welcome home, brother.
These men have been up since 4 a.m. It's been a long day. They've had a great day.
Yes.
Welcome home. Great day.
Thank you, sir.
Gerald Cooley. Where's Gerald? Oxford